Hey everyone, this is Letty for the Metal Cell podcast. I'm joined by Damon Tate of Virtue. Damon, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm all good. Thanks for joining me.
No problem. Again, like I said, it's anytime I can take out of the day just to hang out, talk music, talk whatever we want to do today. It's all good. It's all love.
That's a good attitude to have. So if you could introduce like yourself and like your role in the band for our listeners.
So my name is Damon. I sing. I also play a little bit of guitar. I do some few other things in Virtue.
Awesome. And for our listeners who maybe haven't heard of you guys before and what music you play, how would you describe your sound?
Just loud. It's like it's we could be a rock band, we could be a metal band, whatever you like, something in between. It's heavy, it's soft, it's emotional. It's all of it wrapped into one.
It is. It's pretty emotional. Like I checked out your new album. It's great, by the way. We'll get into it.
Hey, hey, thank you.
No problem. How did the band start?
Oh, that was a while ago. So myself and the other guitar player, Mike, we used to play in bands before this. And really it was just one of those things where you kind of just meet growing up, going to local shows. Eventually, all the bands break up and then just kind of form into one other band. And kind of the case with us is, we had some different members throughout the years. We found Tyler because he was playing in another band in our scene. Ryan, we actually found on the internet, which is always fun. During it was like we kind of started talking to him before COVID hit, and then when COVID really kind of took effect, it's like, well, we can't really tour or do much, but we started talking with him more, sharing videos back and forth, and now we have an international sensation in the house. So
Yeah, you guys have six over 600,000 monthly Spotify listeners, which is pretty impressive.
thank you. Yeah, it's not the be all end all thing, but it's still cool to look at when you're like, okay, people are listening to the music. That's the most important thing.
Exactly.
You know,
People are digging with it and resenting with it.
yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
You played a concert in the Record Lounge in Michigan at the end of October to just 50 people. How was it, being in that small of a venue?
It's cool because Heather is a long time like friend of ours. We her son would go to our shows back in the day, and it's like just to be able to do small little stuff like that in conjunction with like an album release, especially with it being like more of an old school thing. Because like people nowadays I would think a lot of things are online, a lot of stuff is, just click this, and it's like it feels good to actually have to force yourself to get up sometimes and physically go somewhere, and people have to see like, oh, this is how we used to do it, back in the day, where it's like you weren't just clicking a link or going to a Spotify or anything else. Like you had to go out in public to a place that has music for you to then, you try out, you listen to it with other people, you talk to different people without a screen in front of you. It's interesting. It's kind of just a cool little nod to, how and when we started. So
Yeah, it's awesome. Like even going to like smaller shows is just like how different it is to like the big arena ones. It's just so much more intimate.
absolutely. And they all have their benefits. It's like, does anybody want to play like, a six show? Absolutely. But, it could be to 3,000 people, it could be to 30 people sometimes. It could just, it doesn't really matter to me.
As long as you're playing, like you're happy.
Hey, exactly. Exactly. We're
Yeah,
playing, everybody's having fun.
exactly. The I don't know if you've heard of the UK magazine Kerrang.
Absolutely. Oh
Well,
yeah.
they had a YouTube series. I think it's still going. Where they did intimate shows in like this small little dive bar to like maybe 100 close friends and family, and it's just so cool to see that sort of thing.
Absolutely. And it's like, again, there's a certain kind of energy that obviously will happen with bigger shows where you can get crowded to it. Ooh, excuse me. Um, like there's chance, all this, but then when you have like an up close and personal, like where I can touch like every single person or every single like it's just it'll always have a different feel. And especially, if the people there, because they're there for you. They know the words, they know you intimately, personally, and it's like those are the kind of moments that, again, back in the garage, back in the basement, whatever it is, and it's like it can make the journey feel like it's going to come full circle at some point. So,
All worth it. Your new album, The Omen, came out the 27th of October. How was the recording process for it?
ooh, that was interesting. So we did it over the course of like 3 or so years, and we just did it in small little chunks. Like a lot of it, we did our like we would record ourselves or go write with friends that we hadn't seen in a long time or wanted to work with, and it's just like once we were able to kind of start traveling more freely, we didn't have to pass so much stuff through like the internet. And it's like you're going to places with, wearing the masks and, social distancing, like while we're in the studio. But at the same time, it's like the magic was still there. It's like we felt like we had to get it done. And that was like a time of kind of no one really knew what was going to happen. No one knew if music was going to come back and what capacity it was going to come back. So you just treat it like, you know, it's not. And I don't know. I feel like we kind of made some magic with this one. It's a lot more raw, a lot more honest. Not that our other stuff wasn't, but this one just has like I don't know, like an air of like finality to it in some ways where it's like when you hear it and then you hear a host of other bands, like anybody that has been working on stuff or putting out stuff like Spirit Box or Bad Omens or any of these bands that are really like our buddies at Hollowfront here in Michigan, like there's so many bands that they were working tirelessly through all of this, and like us it's like you'll know where and how like certain things came about because you could just hear it in the tunes. But like again, the recording thing is like we would just show up, wouldn't demo out anything ahead of time, just go start having some conversation and catch a vibe, and wherever the wind took us from there.
Sounds like a really free writing process then.
It was, and so I'd be lying if I'd say that, it was all smooth sailing. There'd be some days where you're like, damn, I can't really come up with much, but at the same time, you're going through that exercise as a team, as a group. So it's one of those where, you know, can it be a little bit frustrating? Yes, but when it works, it was nailed completely. So
Awesome. It's a great album. I really enjoyed listening to it.
I appreciate that. Again, like I said, I'm just happy that people are digging it and, you know, making it known or more known nowadays than maybe ever have before in our band's history, which is equally as sick. So
It really is sick. My favorite song off the album is Cut Me Open. Is there a story behind that song? Because the music video is pretty cool as well.
the music video it was done up by our friend Matt Cole and Chris. He's plays guitar in a band called Avoid. If you haven't listened to them, go check them out. They're super sick dudes. Um, Cut Me Open really is kind of it was one of those songs where we were writing the instrumental. We were trying to figure out like maybe what we wanted to write about. And we got further along in the instruments than we usually would. By that time, we would have came up with like a chorus or something by then. But it just kind of we are looking around, and it's like we were talking about some people that had done us wrong or done us a certain way, and it's like it's also our fault in some ways that you let people like that kind of repeatedly into your life thinking that they may have changed or may have your best interest at heart when again, sometimes people are who they are, and it's, you know, one thing that's going to be bad for you, you need to be able to cut it off. Otherwise, at the end of the day, they're just going to keep coming and keep coming and keep doing the same thing, keep leaving you feeling with a big old empty spot there. So
Very inspirational. Just cut those bad people out. If they're not giving you good vibes, just cut them out.
it's harder than it says, but yes, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, exactly. If you could collaborate with any musician dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh, that's a rough one. It's sad that most of them might be dead. Like Michael Jackson, Prince, those are what like Chester, honestly, that was like one of the ones where like when he passed it, like and you felt it, we're like, oh, that's like that's somebody from my generation. Like
Yeah.
that's somebody where like it hurt a little bit where I was like, fuck, man. That'd probably be one of those three for sure.
Good picks, good picks. Like Prince, Michael Jackson, and Chester. Like that'd be some song.
Oh yes, that would be wild. I'll do whatever they want. I'll just dance.
that'd
I'll
be
just dancing.
that'd be legendary. Get three of them on stage.
Hmm. Oh yeah. No, that would be because again, it's just all of them are so it's just so influential in their own way. And like Prince being like he sings, plays guitar, Michael Jackson being as uber I don't even know. See, I don't know where the song I don't even know where I fit in it. I might just have to like play bass or something or figure it out.
That'd be sick. Who are your biggest inspirations for bass?
Oh, it's uh I was like a Wooten kid growing up. I did love that. I love kind of like the free flowing, like some Miles Davis sounding stuff. It's there aren't too many bass players nowadays that I like completely gravitate to, but there are some interesting pages where like I do pay attention. Like the bass player of Ginger is actually one that I follow where I'm like, yo, this dude rips. Like just nasty hands all over it. Ryan Martini from Mudvayne was another one, like just had a unique style about him. Like it's wild. Like it's very wild.
Yeah, Mudvayne are definitely in a league of their own.
Oh yeah, they playing just doing all this crazy, just
Just the Berber
wow.
ding.
Yes. Oh yes.
Do you have any favorite album releases of 2023 or any that you're looking forward to in 2024?
Oh, this is where I'm just gonna completely shamelessly promote my own stuff.
Go for it. That's what it's for.
Yeah, well, no, we spent this much time working on it, and again, it still kind of feels like a dream come true to a degree. So it's like if I haven't checked out Omen, please do. I will say my buddies in Bad Wolves, they put out a record called Die About It, which is great. Um, I have another band called For the Fallen Dreams. We actually put out a self-titled record earlier this year. So
Oh,
shameless
awesome.
plug for that. I play guitar and sing in that band as well. Spirit Box, the EP that they just released is unreal. Like that thing is everything a modern rock metal band should be. Just heavy, beautiful, sad, happy, all of it. Yeah, it can't be touched. It can't be
No.
touched,
I saw
in
them
my opinion.
when they came over to Dublin and played in the academy and I saw them and they just blew me away.
Yeah, it's if you can go see them, please do not miss that show. Do not
No,
miss that show at all.
check them out. They're one of the few modern bands that are definitely flying the flag.
Hmm.
And here's our last question. Do you have any advice for anyone wanting to start a band in 2023?
Ooh. Um, be consistent. That is the hardest thing. That's the only thing that's going to keep anybody in this, whatever you want to call it, this world, this business, this art form. It's hard enough just trying to break through. There's so many artists, so many things trying to happen all at once, and it's like you're going to see who really wants to do it by who just kind of as long as you're working at it but sticking around one day at a time, every day doing something, just a little something. It doesn't, you don't have to take it all at once, but it's, you know, one foot in front of the other. And you'll see who actually wants it by who's going to be there throughout the years, going to shows, writing music, taking notes, figuring out how to make their show the best as possible, and how to tell their story in a way that is unique to them.
And how to take the bad days as well as the good days, really.
Mm, and there is going to be plenty of bad ones. And you just have to keep, funnel that energy, funnel all of that into what you do.
Just roll with the punches. That's all you got to do.
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. Damon, thank you so much for sitting down with me.
You're very welcome. I appreciate, again, you taking the time out of your day to do this for us.
No bothers. And the Omen is out now.
Yes.
This week's episode is sponsored by Helio Gas Detection and Rising Suns, the award-winning brewery in Cork.